So the transfer window is over, and as you can see from our transfer budget, there was quite a bit of movement, including one with about 4 hours left. As you can see, the transfer window is closed. It's now the 7th of February. As you can see, our budget is a heck of a lot higher than what it was at the beginning of the season, and our payroll has a lot more leeway in it than it did at the beginning of the season. We're still in the positive with the overall balance. Profit loss this month, that has a lot to do with what happened in the transfer window. It was a little surprising, to be honest with you. I knew we were going to move some players. I didn't think Joshua Zirkzee going to RB Leipzig for $75 million was going to be one of them. This was literally last day of the transfer window with about 4 hours left. He had offers before, and he had no interest in talking to them. Then RB Leipzig came through with this £75 million straight-up offer, and he absolutely jumped at it. And so I let him go. I've got Pellegrini, I've got Esposito, I've got Clark, or Pierce. I'm totally blanking on his name right now because I'm still kind of in shock over this. We're set. We're okay. Plus, we signed a young striker from Ibar for a decent amount of money that I think could step in and fill his place eventually too, if this was a long-term save. But I'm trying to set the team up for long-term success as well. But we're going to look at the outs first. So the first out was Gabriel Veron. I believe I may have talked about some of these earlier. Gabriel Veron went to Everton for $17 million. Jaime Seone went to Monaco for $5.25 million. Sean O'Toole went to Sheffield United for $300,000. Teo Adamarola, I sent out on loan to Coventry. They came asking for him. They offered him full-time starting. I said yes. I don't know that he's going to come back, especially if Crystal Lofkov gets a work permit. Tyrell Harding went to Yeovil on loan. Mathis Cervez went to IK Braga for £40,000. He was a free agent we brought in who never got any playing time. I couldn't send him out on loan because he couldn't get a work permit. When I tried sending him out on loan overseas, he refused. I sent him to Bohemians, and he had an okay season there, but it wasn't enough for him to qualify for a work permit. Braga came in asking for him, and frankly, I was happy to let him go because he's fallen down the depth chart as a result of what's been happening elsewhere. Ben Elliott went to Rotherham for £250,000. Joe White went to Bohemians on loan. Eyüp Gedik, my young Turkish striker, is at Barnsley on loan. Hamza Chowdhury was going to Zenit on for $7.5 million, and then Dinamo Moscow turned around and offered Alex Baena $13.25 million, and he absolutely jumped at it. He would have been a starter off the bench, but he's an important player at Dinamo Moscow, so he went there more for playing time than anything else, and that's fine. I think I've got enough depth for that. Jair Wiedewald went to South Gijon on loan, but there's a future transfer fee. I want to say $1.9 million associated with that, considering what else they're paying in terms of his salary and so on. We're okay there. Chris McCaskill went to Stevenage on loan, and then Zirkzee went out to RB Leipzig for $75 million, and then Christian Canales went to Hanover on loan as well. On the ends, our big spring buy was Joseba Sola from Ibar, breakthrough prospect, 2.5-star potential ability, 5-star potential ability. Physically, already pretty strong. Mentally, good where it counts. The bravery's a little bit on the low side. Maybe the concentration as well. Positioning and teamwork could use a little bit of help, but as an advanced forward with 16 dribbling, 16 finishing, 12 first touch, 12 passing, 14 technique, he'll be absolutely coming off the bench. And I suspect if Pellegrini leaves in the summer, there were a couple teams that made offers for Pellegrini, but he wasn't interested in talking to them. I suspect if the right team came along for the right amount of money, like RB Leipzig did for Zirkzee, Pellegrini would have left. Dino Johansson, we brought in on loan from Marseille with Adamarola leaving. I needed some defensive help on the back line, especially at left back. I didn't want to bring in somebody full-time because I've got players out on loan who can step up and be depth for Natan next season. And I want to give those players a chance. Lovkov, fingers crossed, I'm hoping gets a work permit. Alessandro Cesanti, we got from Bologna for $6 million. With all the midfielders I let go, I needed just a little bit more depth. 23 years old, 2-star current ability, 3-star potential ability. Midfielder, can play all the positions equally poorly, which at the end of the day sounds bad, but physically, mentally, technically, he's a guy. He's a lunch pail guy. He knows what he can do, and he does it really well. You know, I'm not expecting miracles out of him. I'm expecting a guy to come off the bench and contribute. And I'm fully expecting that for him. And then, last but not least, Jair from Flamenco was put out there on an agent feeler. Advanced midfielder, backup for Fatuwu and Esposito when Esposito is playing striker, and I need somebody to come off the bench. 2-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. Physically pretty solid. I love the 16 stamina. The 10 strength's a little bit on the low side. I tried getting him a loan, but he's already been on 2 clubs, so he couldn't go out this season. I may loan him out next season, depends on what this offseason brings. Mentally, he needs some improvement in a couple areas, but I love his work rate. His teamwork's nice, his determination and flair is nice, his bravery and anticipation are nice, the aggression is absolutely fabulous. Although an aggressive attacking midfielder, that may not be exactly a good thing. Technically, he does need some improvement. His dribbling, finishing, and first touch are adequate. His marking is okay. His passing and technique are actually not bad. The 15 technique is very nice. So he's started out on the under-23s. He will get some playing time probably later in the season, especially as we keep progressing in the FA Cup and hopefully in the Champions League. Since we last played, we have not lost a game. I'm really kind of worried about this. We had plenty of opportunities to lose a game, but we managed to come back more often than not. The last game we played was Tottenham-Everton? Yeah. We beat Burnley 3-0 for 2 goal, Esposito a brace of goals. Against Liverpool, we beat them 2-0, Xerxes goal for 2 goal. Against Newcastle, Jordan Clark scored in the 18th minute, and that gave us enough. The guys were really on top of their game. Esposito missed a penalty kick, though. That was a killer. And Newcastle was really pushing at the end. They probably should have tied it, if I remember correctly. They had 3 World War kits. 2 of them came in the last 5 minutes. And then against Norwich, this was a game we had to come back to win. Fatuwu had a goal. Then Oliver Skip had a goal. Christie got a goal. Then Rashika got a brace of goals, and they were up 3-2. And then Xerxes scored in the 74th minute. Esposito scored in the 84th minute. We got lucky with this one. I'll be the first to admit it. This is going to be probably a little bit longer episode. I know I said last episode we were going to come back for Brighton Real Madrid, but with Sheffield United being here, I think what we're going to do is play Sheffield United and skip Derby and Brighton and come back for Real Madrid. And then next episode, come back for Man City, Real Madrid. League-wise, we're in second place. We're a point behind Man City, and we're pulling ahead of the pack. So the top 2 teams, I don't think, are in doubt. The question is who's going to finish first. United has been charging up. They've had a string of wins, but I don't believe they have the opportunity to catch either us or Man City unless one of us or both of us pull a Dr. Benji and fall flat on our face. Well, this is the team we are going to play against Sheffield United. We've got Safana from goal, Natan, Zagadou, Kasunu, and Laird as the defensive back 4. Skip, Ricci, and Stockbridge as the midfielders. Fatuwu is the attacking midfielder. Clark and Pellegrini up top as the strikers. Okay. Sheffield has Mateta. He was at Newcastle for a season and a half, and they turned around and shipped him off to Sheffield United for £15.5 million, I want to say. So he's starting against us today. We'll have to see how he does. Denton, the corner kick in. Dees is there and puts it away. 15 minutes in, United is 1 up. Sheffield United, that is. That was a nice corner. Who missed that? Kasunu or Zagadou? Can't click on it fast enough. The Tom picked up yellow. Always good. Gets the ball to Clark. Feeds Fatuwu. Gets the ball to Pellegrini. Over to Stockbridge. Stockbridge takes a shot. Travers blocks it. Skip back and forth. Pellegrini to Laird. That was an interesting play by Sheffield. Pellegrini, and he gets a header. 6 minutes later for us to equalize. I had to look up at the clock there just to make sure what the time was. That was an interesting choice by the Sheffield keeper to keep the play going. Nice job by Laird coming up. Turning around, getting the cross in. Pellegrini, a very nice header. We're coming up on halftime, those are the only two highlights of the first half. Statistically speaking, we've been better. 5 shots, 4 on target. They've had the possession advantage. They've had more tackles. We've had more headers, which is kind of new for us. We're not really a heading team. At least I like to believe we're not a heading team. I could be 100% wrong there. Okay. We've had more shots. We've had more on target. You know what? We're 60 minutes in. There haven't been any highlights. We're gonna get Johansson on for Natan. And we're gonna bring Esposito on for Clark. Go from the positive to the attack. I can't remember if this goes to extra time. Denton sends it in. Knocked away. Johansson runs it down. Driving forward. Long pass. Esposito can't get to it. Oh, Vega's pressed into a bad pass. Zagadou to Fatuwu. Johansson crosses it in. It was a floater. Travers jumped up in front of Pellegrini. Travers hits it for Mateta. Headed down. Escriche's there. And he skies it. Stefanov came out and challenged him. And we gave it away on the throw-in. Vega ends up with it. All the way back to Baldock. Baldock to Wintle. Wintle sends it in. Zukic is there, and they get the second one. He gets that right in front of Stefanov. What was Stefanov thinking? That was one hell of a looping cross by Baldock. Watch this. Baldock to White, back to Baldock, who just one-foots it. Zukic is right there. Stefanov didn't even challenge for the ball. He just stood there. It's like he was afraid to go up and challenge. I don't want to see this again. It's like he stood up and didn't challenge for it. Now I got to go to the very attacking. And we're out of the FA Cup again. In the 4th round. Again. To a team from a lower league. Again. Son of a gun. Well, we'll save the game here. I guess our saving grace is that we're playing Derby next in their 20th. Brighton is mid-table. They're 11th or 12th. And then we got Madrid coming up. So we're going to play Derby and Brighton offline. The club wanted us to get to the 5th round. Again, we were knocked out in the 4th. I want to check something out here real quick. FA Cup 4th round this season. FA Cup 3rd round last season. FA Cup 5th round 2 seasons ago. We reached the final. We lost to Liverpool. That's the one good FA Cup run we had. And we lost in the 4th round our first season. So our second season we got to the final and we lost. That's just annoying. Okay, so we'll check here real quick. Derby and Brighton. And then Real Madrid. So calendar. Yeah, Derby is 20th. Brighton's currently 11th. So then we got Real Madrid. So we're going to play these 2 games offline, and then we'll be back with our first match against Real Madrid in the Champions League first knockout round stage in just a bit. We were lucky in the intervening weeks. We absolutely smashed Derby 4-1. All 4 of our goals occurred in the first 18 minutes of the game. And then against Brighton, we absolutely got lucky. Esposito scored first, Battaglia equalized, and then Pellegrini scored in the 62nd minute to give us the win. But Brighton gave us a really good game. 20 shots, 13 on target they had, or 15 and 5. They had 1 woodwork hit. More clear-cut chances, more half chances. They had us on the back foot most of the game. Luckily, Stefanov was really good between the sticks, a player of the match award. The defenders weren't bad. Skip had an off game, but my midfielders and my forwards also had some very good games. It was just enough to see us through. So I really thought for a minute there we were going to not win, which would have been bad because, well, at the time, City drawing would have been bad in that it would have left us a point behind City. Instead, City drew with United, and now we are 3 points ahead of them and 11 points ahead of United. So today, though, it is all about Real Madrid. Vern expects more playing time. I don't know how he's going to be getting it, though, seeing as how these are kind of some critical games. I've been bringing him off the bench. Hopefully that will do him well. I have one player who needs to come off. That's Dan Axel Zagadou. So we are going to bring on Tizier, who at 19 years old is turning into quite the really good defensive center back. I don't know why these are going down. He's part of the first team club. He's been training. It's annoying, to be honest with you. So we got Safanov in goal, Natan, Tizier, Grigas, and Laird as the defensive back four. Skip, Reaching, Gallagher as the midfielders. Fatu is the tag midfielder. Pellegrini and Esposito up top as the strikers. Is that what we want? No, we can't have Skip. We got to have Cervanti. Yeah, that's what we're going to go with first. We are at Selhurst. We need to hold Madrid to a low number of goals, we need to hold Madrid to a low number of goals. Who do they have? Courtois, DeMarco, Romero, Militao, Alaba, Baku, Valverde, Casemiro. They totally missed the others. We'll take a look at it here in just a minute. Cersante already picked up a yellow card. Yeesh. Safanov, or to Grigas. Cersante. Tries passing up to space. Goes right to Militao. Back and forth. Oh, Romero picked up a yellow card too, so we're equal there. Valverde to Vini Jr. Back to Romero. Casemiro. Arsenio up into space. Vini Jr. got by the defenders, and he puts it past Safanov for a goal in the 7th minute of the match. Yeah. Vinicius Jr. A little past 30 minutes in, no highlights since that Madrid goal, which is good and bad. Puig's getting knackered, and that is halftime. 7 shots, 2 on target for us, 4 shots, 4 on target for them. Our XGs are pretty similar. We've got 0.41, they've got 0.45. They have a huge possession advantage. DeMarco, corner kick, Madrid. Gallagher knocks it away. Arsenio's going to run it down. He takes an ambitious shot that was high and left. For a minute there, it looks like it was going in. Two, corner kick in, knocked away by Romero. Ricci isn't going to run it down because the ref held him up. DeMarco, Casemiro, back to Romero. Casemiro, DeMarco up to Arsenio. Baku to Jovic. Jovic, Valverde. Valverde to Jovic. Takes a shot, puts it away. Jiminy. Shots like that, you think your keeper should get at least a hand on. We're going to get Pellegrini off, bring on Clark. We're going to move Gallagher up to attacking playmaker, and we're going to get Fatu off and bring on Stockbridge. And we've got a ton of shots, but none of them are on target. We've had 2 really close that were high XG, but that was about it. 5 minutes left. We're not going to have any other highlights, are we? DeMarco, Militao, off the crossbar. Vinicius Jr. to DeMarco. All the way back up to Baku. Gets the ball to Militao. Valverde to Alberto. DeMarco. Vinicius Jr. DeMarco. Alberto out to Baku on the right. And that is the game. A 2-0 loss. We should have won that based on the chances created. I agree. We're doing well. We're in first place. We're winning the games we need to be winning. I would love to come back and beat Madrid. Next episode is going to be telling. It's Man City and Madrid. And then after that, I don't know. We're going to play it by ear. So, not the best episode. Losing to Sheffield United hurt. I mean, they're a good championship team. They've been up. They've been a what's the word I'm looking for? A roller coaster team. They're up, they're down, they're up, they're down. They've got some good players. They've got Mateta for crying out loud, although he didn't do much of that game. And just, I think it's one of those cases where we're playing down to our opponent's level. I think the Derby game is a case in point. We got 4 goals really, really quick. And then if you were to look at the stats, we had all of 4 shots the second half. We slowed down. And I didn't change anything, mentality-wise or anything like that. We stayed positive the whole game. And after the first... after the first 20 minutes of the game, we just kind of sat back and did our own we had the momentum. And then we gave it away a little bit at the end of the half. And then when we gave it away in the middle, and that's when they scored. And then we had the momentum again, but it's like we did just enough. It was one of those where we got to the point where we weren't playing to win. We were playing not to lose. And that's really, really frustrating. So, not as frustrating as this episode. Back-to-back losses, at least in the Let's Plays. A couple of good wins in between, but now we got to go to Madrid and score at least 3 while holding them to none. That's going to be a task. And we're out of the FA Cup again. That's just salt in the wound. We have yet to win some sort of trophy while we're here. And I realized the goal was to win the Champions League and the Prem. It'd be a shame if we did one and not the other. But on the whole of it, part of me at the moment says I'd much rather win the Prem. So that said, we're well on our... Well, I'm not going to say well on our way. We're 4 points ahead on our way to doing that this season, which is nice because that gives us 2 more seasons to do it in case we fall short. So that said, if you did like what you've seen and heard, please have a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, questions, criticisms, comments. Leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. My name is FM Jellicoe, and thank you for watching.